This is part two, creating and assigning some materials. Now, materials, shaders, same kind of thing in this, I suppose. So let's just get to it. So I'll go back to my content. I'll make a new folder, and I'll make one called materials, because they're called materials in this, so I might as well keep calling them materials. Now, these materials can be either as static or as dynamic as you want them in a sense. I like to make it so that I can set the color from within the program. So in that sense, I'm going to make a relatively universal material. You'll see what I mean by that later. But so I'm just going to create a material, going to call it ship material. Now, you'll probably recognize this if you're used to the node editor in Blender. It's very much like, well, this is a physically based rendering thing, of course. So what you do, like he's putting down some variables when you're using the node. Well, it's called the blueprint editor in here. So if I hold down the number 1 and push the mouse button, it gives me a single digit thing. If I hold down number 2, it gives me an array, a X, Y, or a whatever. If I hold down 3, it gives me 3, which is going to be RGB color. If I hold down 4, it's the same, but it's got an alpha channel. So in this case, I'm going to put down a color here, and I'm going to drag that to my base color. Now, I'll just make this a white color for now. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make this into a parameter. Now, a parameter means it can be edited later. This is the dynamic part of it. So it can convert to parameter, and then it's going to ask for a name. Now, in most of Unreal Engine, when you are accessing names of functions and everything, it sort of auto-completes them for you, but not with parameters. So choose things that you're going to know how to spell correctly. Now, even though color is spelled with the terrible North American way without a U, I'm going to stick to spelling it this way, base color, because that's what it's called, base color, because then there's no confusion. And what else I'm going to do? I am going to have a roughness slider. So I'm going to choose a number 1 because it's just a scalar. I'm going to drag this over to here. I'm going to have a default roughness of 0.5. Going to call it a parameter. And I'm going to call it roughness. That's right. Now, for completeness sake, I'm going to have a metallic one. Exactly the same, only metallic going to be a default of 0. Call it metallic. Now, emissive color. Now, this one is interesting. So, I'm going to have this in a few different ways, I suppose. One I'm going to have is a temperature value. Now, if I hit right click, it lets me bring up options. And if I choose black body and put that there and put it into emission. Now, black body is a great little node. Unlike Blender, see, well, here's the thing, is the color here is 1111. It's the reason it's not 255 is because this is a float, because I could actually make the color 2222. And it's still white, because it's still white, it's brighter. Because they're not just colors in this, because they're, there's scene reference, I think you'd refer to it as. So they have a brightness. So black body not just generates a color, but it actually generates an energy value. So if I save this, which compiles it, now under black body, under temperature, I'm going to push 1, and I'm going to bring a number in there, and I'm going to bring in the number 2000. And see, it actually makes it glow, because not only is it that color of a 2000 degree black body radiator, but it's the brightness of one. Anyway, so I'm going to actually make that 0. make it a parameter and call it temperature. So this means if I actually change the temperature of this, it will actually make it glow as if this was actually happening. I find this really handy. I like it a lot, in fact. Now, I'm not going to use any of those. So that's any more of those. So I will save that. Now I will also make my own another material, but this is going to be like a flame material. There's a name for it. I'll remember the name soon. Flame material. Now, over on the left here, blend mode, opaque. If I put additive, it's the same as as using screen. So it's adding the colors on top of each other. Now I'm going to do that black body thing like I had before. Black body, yes, into emission. Push 1, make this a parameter for temperature. And for example, if I set that default value at 2000, as you can see, it's written over the top. Anyway, so I will save that. Now, to assign this material to this mesh in a simple way, I'll show you. Now, for example, this mesh that's in the world, that's over there. That's just, this is in the world. You can have multiple of them. That's different from the content drawer. So the content drawer meshes. I'll come up to the rocket ship. Now, as you can see, highlight what part of that there. In my ship, I think that's the black part. So let's go back a step. Let's go back a step. So with this materials, I've got this universal ship material. Now what I can do is I can make an instance. So with this instance, this is semi-dynamic. So it's building off that other one. So I want to just call this the black ship material. And you'll see when I go into it that it's different in this sense. It doesn't let me edit it, but it's got all the potential parameters over there which I can edit. So I'll click this one. Now I can edit the color, bring it down to black, and now it's black. Roughness, in this particular case, I want it to be non-reflective, so I'll bring the roughness up to 1. And I could probably affect the specular value to get rid of any shine, but it's too late for that. Not really, I'm just too lazy. And so now if I go back to my meshes, go back to my rocket ship, I'll see that I can choose black ship material, and now it's there, it's black. Now, I'm going to make these other ones blue and orange. And hang on, have I done this correctly? No, you're meant to be black ship material. I'm going to make a white ship material. You'll just be flat, you'll just be ship material. There we are, look at that. Oh. Looks like someone's normals are mucked up. Oh my goodness. Well, thankfully, one of the things we can do here is re-import. So obviously, I've mucked up my normals there. So I'll head back into here. I'll click on the ship, tab, or mesh, normals, recalculate outside, save it. Export is the FBX, export is the same thing. I haven't changed any of the settings, just over the top of it. Now I should be able to go to re-import base mesh. Boom. That worked out quite well, didn't it? Just pulled it straight back out of that same FBX file. I'm pleased that actually worked quite well. You can also see there that the obviously the UVs are rooted. Good thing I'm not using the UVs whatsoever. All right, so I'm going to go make a blue and a yellow material here. Content, materials, ship material, create material instance, orange ship material, and another one orange ship material. Obviously I'm going to make it orange. What color? Orange. Just a cool, nice, just a nice wee orange. It's orange. It's definitely orange. Roughness, I want you to be like 0.2. I want you to be nice and shiny, man. Blue ship material. Roughness. You don't need to see me do all this. So I made some more. I made a white one because I wanted to change the roughness, and I made a grey one, and so now that's kind of my ship. It's alright. It's alright. These blues and oranges could be a bit of a different colour. I'll edit those, but anyway, that was the basic part of assigning some materials to a mesh. Now, the next stage is actually going to be making them dynamic and assigning them within the ship's blueprints. Now that's a little bit more of a step, so come back to part 3 for that.